I don't know how moms could do it, because me thinking of being a mom is already hard in itself. Now imagine if something paranormal happened. This lady says that when her kids were younger, they lived in Catepec, Mexico. The house that they were renting was her mother-in-law's friend's house. She explains that any time that she would stay alone in that house, she would always hear noises on the first floor. She said it sounded like a kid almost playing around with some toy. She would even hear like a child running up the steps and running right back down. This only happened when her husband had to work the night shift and she had to stay alone at home with her kids. So in one of those nights where her husband had to work the night shift, she said that she had already put the kids to bed, the baby was in the crib, and her son was in the bed with her, but she couldn't get herself to go to sleep. She explains that as she's laying there, she's just starting to feel very heavy, like the vibe was very off. Even though the energy was starting to feel really weird, she decided to just close her eyes and try to fall asleep. But as soon as she did that, she heard her baby start crying. When she gets up, she notices that the baby is no longer on the crib. The baby was underneath the crib, so she immediately picks him up, and when she does, she notices that he has scratch marks all over his body. She was extremely scared, so obviously she couldn't fall asleep. So what she did is she ended up putting the baby to bed next to his brother, and she sat on that bed the entire night until her husband came home that morning. So she says that a few days passed and another incident happened, and that was the incident that made them pack up and move all together. She says that her and her husband and her 2 kids were in the bedroom, the door was closed. They were all about to fall asleep, and that was when they heard something or someone run up the stairs really fast, run through the hallway, and stop at the door of their bedroom. Heart attack immediately. She admits that her and her husband just looked at each other and they were both too scared to even open the door to see who was in their house. Because of prior incidents, they did have holy water in that bedroom, so what they did was grab that holy water and just start spraying it towards the door. However, she said that when they started to throw that holy water towards the door, they started to hear like screams coming from the other side, like terrifying screams. Obviously, after that incident, they could not handle living there anymore, so they moved away from there. We listen and we don't judge, and I'm not judging them because I feel like maybe people have different situations, but what would have done it for me was me picking up my baby and seeing fucking scratch marks all over him. Not the door incident, I would have been gone. But anyway, they moved and they found a new home. So again, they moved away, and years later they had another baby. When that baby grew up, like maybe 3 or 4 years old, he would tell his parents that he would see a monster in his bedroom. That when he was laying in bed, the monster would be standing in the corner of the room just watching him. She explains how things did calm down after they baptized him. It didn't completely stop altogether, but it definitely calmed down a lot. She explains how she hates to admit it, but sometimes she swears to see shadows in the corner of the room herself. But anyway, what do you guys think?